Well, let's go ahead and get started, and want to wish you all a good afternoon and welcome you to the Showker Award for Internship Excellence Award Ceremony. We're so pleased that you chose to share your lunch hour with us. And each year, the Showker Award for Internship Excellence is given to 3 Bridgewater College students who have exhibited outstanding leadership excellence during their internship, or it could be a practicum, or an other experiential learning activity. We decided to expand it beyond internships because here at Bridgewater, we give lots of different avenues to get to be connected to the community, to businesses and organizations, to get that opportunity to take what you learn in class and apply it in that practical situation. So the prize includes a $350 cash prize for each of our winning students and an opportunity to share their experience and their advice with the BC community. And we have a beautiful crystal trophy for their site supervisors. So I'm going to show this beautiful trophy right now because I think it's so gorgeous. There we go. Isn't that pretty? So this will sit in your office, hopefully on your desk or on a shelf where it's prominently displayed. So we really appreciate the relationship you've established with Bridgewater College. This year's winners are Annabell Knapp, Stephanie Hintze, and Rebekah Moyer. So this is a competitive award. And so each applicant went through a rigorous application process, and we did have wonderful applicants who did great work in their internships, but the 3 being recognized today, they simply shined. The awards focus on professionalism and leadership learned and demonstrated during the course of their internships. It is shared with their internship site supervisors, without whose guidance or experience would have been much less valuable. But there are others to celebrate as well. Dr. Young, Madeline Martin, and I had a very tough time choosing the winners. And because all of our contestants wrote great essays that embrace the spirit of leadership and professionalism, our runners-up are also going to receive a gift, an attractive Bridgewater College Padfolio that they can use as they pursue their career goals. So before I introduce our winners, I would like to invite Dr. Randy Young, who's the director of the Zane D. Showker Institute for Responsible Leadership, to say a few words about the Showker Institute and this award. Randy.
Thank you, Sherry. So good afternoon, everyone. As Sherry said, I am the director of the Showker Institute, where our mission is to inspire students to become responsible leaders, to provide opportunities for students to develop skills needed to become responsible leaders, and to promote and celebrate responsible leadership by our students, all in the pursuit of enhancing student engagement. The award ceremony today is a way for us to say thank you to students who have been exceptionally engaged in their leadership development. A message that is repeated by the Leadership Institute is that we are all capable of being leaders, defined simply as people who help others reach a common goal. That rather than waiting for a title or an official leadership position, we should all seek out opportunities to motivate and influence others to achieve a common goal. The students we are recognizing today, as well as everyone who applied for the award, have all found inspiring ways of leading as part of their internship experiences, even in the midst of a pandemic. Your excellence is a pleasure to celebrate today. And for all of you here in attendance, first off, thank you for being here. And secondly, completing an internship is one of the greatest opportunities you have to gain the kind of experience needed to get your career started. So please consider doing one as soon as possible, and hopefully we'll see some of you here today being recognized at next year's celebration. So thank you, Sherry. Thank you, everyone. And I'll give it back to Sherry now.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Young. And I want to mention before we get started, too, that the order of our winners is completely random. There's not a first, second, or third place because we know all of our winners are our number ones. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to introduce first Stephanie Hintze. Stephanie is a class of 2021, so she's getting ready to graduate soon. And she interned at nearby Dayton Animal Clinic. It's a local veterinary clinic that focuses on small animal patients, and her duties involve shadowing the doctors and clinic staff, assisting with examinations, administering treatments, evaluating samples, office administration, and customer service. The internship helped her solidify her commitment to one day becoming a veterinarian. However, she is still undecided on small animal versus large animal practice. She plans on pursuing opportunities for hands-on experience with large animals so that she can make the most informed possible choice for her veterinary future. And she is joined today by her cooperating professor, Dr. Kimberly Bolyard, and Dr. Kevin Carter, who was her site supervisor at the Dayton Animal Clinic. So at first, I'd like to let's see. Let's turn this over now to Dr. Bolyard, who will say a few words.
Okay, hey. So I've known Stephanie since August 2017, and it's really been a pleasure to watch her growth and development since that time. Stephanie started Bridgewater College interested in veterinary medicine, and she has worked consistently towards that goal. She's taken her required science courses like cell biology and organic chemistry, and she sought out specialty electives like animal behavior and domestic animal nutrition. She's participated in BC's Equine Studies program, and she shadowed veterinarians in the past. So last spring, when it was time to plan her senior year, we discussed the possibility of an internship as an important next experience for her.
You're not muted.
This past fall, Stephanie worked at the Dayton Animal Clinic, and I got to read her weekly journals. She was very thorough in her journals, and she did a really great job connecting her coursework that she had done at Bridgewater to what she was doing in the clinic. She also got to learn about leadership by working closely with Dr. Carter. I think this was surprising to Stephanie, but I had already observed her leadership ability during class discussions, laboratory activities, and research projects. So Stephanie, congratulations on winning this award, which recognizes your leadership skills.
I have to unmute myself. Let's now hear from Dr. Kevin Carter, who was Stephanie's site supervisor.
Yes, hello. Yeah, I'm Dr. Carter. I've been asked to talk about how we use our interns in general. But first of all, let me say we really enjoyed having Stephanie come in and enjoying getting to know her. And we feel like it was a very good experience for us as well as for her. We do end up having a lot of interns, both of varying educational levels. We have a regular internship program with Messnut Technical Center, where we have a lot of high school interns, and then we've had several college-age interns, and we've even had a couple post-college graduate interns who are getting some hours for veterinary school. We do have our interns follow all of our rules that our staff follows in terms of dress and punctuality, and we try and treat them just as if they were working here, and we expect them to let us know if they're sick or if they have a school break and aren't here. And Stephanie certainly did all that, and then of course with the COVID protocols we do that as well. I enjoy having our interns show interest in what we're doing, and asking relevant questions, both to myself as well as the staff, because they can learn a lot from our other staff, as well as from myself. Some of our interns are more highly educated than others, and I really enjoy seeing somebody who's aware that even though maybe they're a college graduate, they can learn a lot from an employee who just finished high school, And we really look for how our interns interact with our staff. As they get more comfortable being here, they also interact with our clients as well. And the clients always really enjoy, I'll introduce them, this is our intern, and oftentimes the clients are very encouraging to the interns and wish them good luck, and they seem to enjoy it. We try and give them jobs to do. For the most part, our interns seem to like to be busy. Nobody likes to just stand around all the time and not do anything. And particularly with our high school interns, a lot of times we'll have them do, work, like to say they're here for a couple hours, we'll have them work for a half hour doing anything from folding towels or breaking down boxes or unpacking inventory or whatever, and not just stand and observe the whole time. Our goals for our interns was a lot of our, especially the younger interns, a lot of them have never had a paying job before. And so we feel like we're exposing them to the work world and have them see that there's a lot of hard work involved in what we do. Because everybody loves, almost everybody loves animals, but there's a whole lot more to it than that. So working in a business like ours is not for everybody, whether you enjoy animals or not. And we also try and expose them to the business side of it in the reception area. And while they're here, we like them to grow in their professional and social skills, interacting with our staff and our customers. We've been very fortunate to have a lot of very good interns over the years, and we have, I think 4 right now who are currently employed, who have went through that MTC internship program. So that's worked out, well for us from that aspect as well. So, but we really enjoyed having Stephanie here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carter. Now let's hear from Stephanie, hear about her experience and what she gained in terms of leadership from this experience. Stephanie.
Hi, everyone. Obviously, I'm Stephanie. I had quite the introduction from Ms. Sherry Talbot and Dr. Bolyard. Just to go on that, I'm a biology major and an equine studies minor, and this is my senior year. As we've already said, this past fall, I completed an internship at Dayton Animal Clinic. And while at the clinic, I worked under Dr. Carter, who is the head veterinarian, and he was my site supervisor. Just some basic things of what I would do at the clinic is a lot of what I would do was observations of like annual exams, vaccinations, surgeries, and clientele interactions. As my internship progressed, I was able to take part in the routine a little bit more and help out with stuff that I originally only was watching, so I could feel myself progress through it as my internship went along. The confidence that I gained through my internship allowed me to be able to actively participate and engage with our patients and clients. This confidence I can attribute to having a supervisor who actively encouraged hands-on participation with clients and helped foster conversations with our clients. As someone who has always wanted to be a veterinarian since I was very young, it was a no-brainer that I wanted to have my internship experience be at a veterinary practice. So I was very fortunate to be able to have this experience, especially during COVID. It's very hard to find an internship site, so I'm very grateful to be able to work, have it at Dayton. I was so excited to get to work with animals like dogs and cats consistently, because it's something you definitely miss out on when you go to college. I was also excited to see like the behind the scenes of like a veterinary practice, and I was just really I was just so ready to experience it, something that I've always like dreamed about getting to see. What I didn't expect though is the amount of leadership that it takes to keep a practice running. The first thought that comes to mind when you think about what a veterinarian does is work with animals, but contrary to popular belief, you work with just as many people as animals. And And then just to go on, the leadership that I witnessed during my internship stemmed primarily from Dr. Carter. While seeing patients and speaking to clients, he has to direct his staff and clearly communicate his expectations to each of them while going on with his business and doing his duties. He has to keep everyone else on top of theirs, such as who's working with who or what they're in charge of that day, such as like filling prescriptions. And when you think about it, during your undergraduate and even graduate education, you really only take a class or two on business management if it's even part of the curriculum. So in this role, you don't, like, you're just focusing on like animal stuff, not really the business side. Therefore, a lot of the leadership within the business is self-developed and not taught, which I find very admirable because you're trial and erroring as you're going. And then on the other side of leadership that I experienced during my internship was the ethicality in good business practice. Good ethics is imperative to the practice in any kind of medical field. Both Dr. Carter and Dr. Herr, who I occasionally would shadow, demonstrated their drive to uphold good ethics every day. Patients were always at the top of our concern when making decisions. And then guidelines concerning controlled substances were well adhered to and well managed, because we do work with a lot of drugs and things like that. And the nice part, like what I really liked about my experience was both of our veterinarians were unaware that they were setting such good examples of responsibility and leadership. And I think that's the best part about working with someone who is a good leader, is that they're always being a good leader even when they don't realize that other people are watching them, which was great, because it just makes you want to strive to be that kind of leader as well. And then after completing my internship, I feel like that has definitely shaped my own leadership skills and confidence. I've become more comfortable in that type of environment. I really wasn't at first because it was so new to me. But I now have the confidence to like draw attention to things without fear of judgment because I'm young and inexperienced. And that it's okay to help out my peers without needing prompting or encouragement. I can just go and do it and feel like I'm being helpful and taking like initiative. And then my internship not only gave me insight to my future career, but to the leadership and the communication skills that I already possessed. And I highly recommend that anyone who is a student completes at least one internship in the field that they're considering as a career. It really opens your eyes to things. I think it's so important. And then the hands-on experience that I got from my internship is more than you could ever get from a classroom or a textbook. So I really do recommend anyone taking an internship if they're thinking about it. And that's all I have.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. And I love some of the points you made, especially, you know, the trial and error. That's what internships are for, to help you figure those things out and give you that training, that learning ground to do that. So that was a great observation, as well as the observation of born leaders, you know, that we go through the day and we don't realize how we may be examples of leaders to others. So that's great. So Stephanie, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
The next person I'd like to recognize is Rebekah Moyer, and she also is class of 2021, and she completed her internship with Racy Engineering in Luray, or Luray, depending on where you're from. And as a business intern, she was responsible for a wide range of duties. She leaned heavily on her accounting knowledge to do payroll and expense reports, business law to rewrite their employee handbook, and draft COVID response documents. So that's a new thing we haven't had to deal with before. And she even assisted the team with some of the engineering duties. The internship experience helped her confirm her desire to go into human resources. And that won't be difficult for her either, since Racy Engineering has already extended her internship into an employment position. So that's extremely exciting. We always love to hear that. Rebekah is joined today by her cooperating professor, Dr. Marcelina Hamilton, and her site supervisor, Pat Racy of Racy Engineering. And I'm going to turn over the floor now to Dr. Hamilton.
Oh, I hope Yeah, when you talked to me about coming in to speak on Rebekah, I was so excited. Rebekah is an amazing, amazing student. I've known Rebekah for about 2 years. In fact, I was an advisor for a semester because Dr. Cadwell stepped away for a semester. So I'm really excited to be here. Congratulations, Rebekah. I have her in 2 classes. She's a great leader. I know Stephanie mentioned the cornerstone of leadership is ethics. Rebekah is ethical. She has integrity. She's also, she doesn't wait for a leadership position to lead. She motivates and influences her peers. She's amazing. And I supervised our internship, and I was able to read our journals, our weekly journals. And we also included photo voices because we wanted to see, not just read journals. We wanted to see exactly what Rebekah was doing. And from my observation from those, because unfortunately I wasn't able to visit the site, but my observation from it's that she had a wonderful, wonderful learning experience. And she also, I just wanted to capture what she wrote. She said, I was digging into financial statements, payroll documents, tax filings, talking to a company, accountants, and getting in touch with banks. So she was building relationships, and she did a lot of research. The most exciting that I want to share with the group today is the payroll protection program loan forgiveness application she was involved with. She ensured that they got one, thank goodness, and she took away a lot of learning from that. She understands what it means to be a leader and execute, get things done. In business, we talk about practical experiences. We're very concerned about real world tasks and learning opportunities like this. And I wanted to thank Racy Engineering. Thank you so much. Our students want such experiences. We want to be able to apply what we learn in the classroom. It's not all about the theory. It's also about practical experiences, especially with business students, so that when they get on the workforce, they can, just run. They know what to do. So thank you so much, Racy Engineering. Congratulations, Rebekah. I am so excited. You're wonderful.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hamilton. What wonderful words. And Pat, we are excited to hear from you now. Pat Racy.
Thank you so much. Dr. Hamilton, you took some of my presentation about my first ever business intern, and I congratulate everyone here that's been involved with Becca, who I've known for a very long time. She's a very special person, and she leads by example, and she leads by just, it's so natural to her. She's just got that, what we refer to as that it factor, where you don't have to be forceful. You just be yourself, and people naturally gravitate to her. And the way we picked up on it was the days that she had to go to school. We were not happy not to have Becca helping us, and the projects she's done for me and for this company have been game changers. And so I do want to backtrack a little bit, and we do have a slide presentation here a little bit to keep me from going off on tangents, as engineers have been known to do. First off, just incredibly grateful and prideful in having the opportunity to be involved with what the Showker Institute is doing. And Dr. Young, it's amazing. I've been so impressed with this whole process. I've been impressed with every ounce of what's come from Bridgewater College to Racy Engineering, and certainly with the talent that we have here today and the stories. It's something that everyone here should be proud of. We are very grateful and honored to be here. Now we're going to talk about the things that we try to do, and the person we're here about. We've been around on Main Street in Luray. Sherry got that right. You got to make it with about 3 or 4 O's before you hit the R, and you're good to go. Since 2002, I started the company in the basement in 1994. I had absolutely no business training because, you know, if you know anything about engineers, we're good at a lot of things, but we're not technically very good at business. So we have to learn it the hard way. Unfortunately, but fortunately, depending on how you look at it, Becca is the first business intern we ever brought into the company. So I'm just overwhelmed with amazement. But we have had, much like the vet clinic and all that, we've had over 36 interns. And we've determined that that is a vital part of the subsistence of this company, to be, you know, to continue to bring talent in a permanent basis. So obviously it's you get a quality candidate like this from a very quality school and program, and you want to try to keep this individual on your staff. And that's traditionally, again, you'll hear me explain over and over again, as engineers think, you know, we have worked with all the schools in the Southeast, engineering schools. A lot of our staff, a significant portion of our leadership, went through internship programs here. And that is how we keep the company surviving, if you will. The purpose of our program, and we've learned to love it, is a lot of joy in this, folks. There's a lot of joy in having those gifted young people come in and work with your workforce. The purpose of our program, it's all about, especially in small communities like Luray, it's very much about educational equity or equality and economic mobility for the participant. What that means is, to us, is we want to provide a positive entry on a resume that is relevant to a degree and its related skills for the very talented youth of this region. The mission statement: develop serviceable talent, productive talent for the workforce, whether it's here or where they go. My greatest pride is the ones that will stay, but it's equal pride when they go off and do big things. And I always joke around and say, make sure you send me my royalties, you know, but I get incredible pride. I tell folks all the time, my job is engineering, but my passion is seeing people, young people, do well and just walk around and boast about that. A little bit about us. We are a professional corporation in Virginia. We've been around a total of 26 years because of the time it took me to get from the basement to Main Street. We have an amazing staff I am so proud of. I'm sorry if it sounds a little boastful. A lot of these folks are Shenandoah Valley natives. Quite a few are Luray natives or Page County natives. And we are a very diverse shop located on Main Street in Luray. We do every aspect of the traditional engineering disciplines except electrical. So our staff strength is about 30. And we've been very blessed to be able to bring, you know, talent and sustain that business in that way. A little bit more about the program, and I really cannot stress enough how much we enjoy this. It's about, you know, having and fostering a productive and positive culture. That's everything in life. You just want people to be happy and you want them to be productive. And certainly one of the main objectives is to provide trained entry-level future talent for our company or for others. Invest in the local youth and not in professional recruiters, which is a big decision. Sometimes we don't enjoy paying recruiting service. We'd much rather pay a local intern who might see us as a viable place to work in the future. And the biggest #1 parameter, if you look at how I view it, is make it productive, make the program and the work challenging and productive. I want those young people, those gifted young people that are bringing the whole staff joy to be able to go home at the dinner table and tell their parents or their friends something meaningful. I don't want them saying, I made copies all day. That is not going to work in our program. Core values: certainly interns are strong candidates for full-time employment. Certainly all about opportunity. One of my favorite words, whether you're seeking business or you're seeking talent or you're seeking guidance, it's all about opportunity. create that positive experience and work environment, foster growth. And I think everyone that spoke thus far has used that word, and it's a very important word. Work habits, purpose. Certainly when we talk a little bit more about what Becca did, you'll see where she was purposeful in her approach to Racy Engineering. Make meaningful assignments, expect productivity and results. I do not single them out and say you don't have to be productive, because there's productivity metrics for everyone, me included. Expect engagement and involvement. Never exclude. Never. Always involved in meetings, be they project meetings, business meetings, client meetings, any training meetings. Always involved. They are staff. Mentor and coach. This is my favorite part, because I learn more from them than they'll ever learn from me. So I enjoy the interaction so much. Whether it's about faith, family, school, or work, we have some really fun conversations over these desks, and I never walk away from them where I didn't benefit as a person or a professional. And then provide marketable tools for present and future success. That's really the core thing that we like. And again, the word of the day for us, it brings joy to all of us when they come in and work into the flow, and we gain such great pride in watching them grow. It's such a fun process to do. Expectations, you know, we joke about this, but I was an intern for a really long time, because it took me a really long time to get through engineering school. But you learn things like coming to work on time and being ready to go. That's very important, honestly. It seems so simple. Expect to be engaged and productive each day. That's important too, because we all have to be in our work lives in order to move forward. Expect to be involved in our operations, not just expect it, you will be. Expect to be fully included and never excluded, and expect to be a contributor to our company's success. Absolutely. That's what it's all about. Intended outcomes, we hope that we can meet our own goals and objectives, of course, as a staff, and it's a pretty sizable staff. We hope that the candidate will want to return for an additional session. We hope that we can provide a permanent position opportunity. We hope that we can be a strong sponsor in the job placement process if that's necessary. And we certainly hope that we foster a positive and permanent place in their lives. And that's a great deal of joy for those that moved on and did other things, of the nearly 40 that we've had in the company. What this is about, to, sort of a grassroots thought process, being a small business on Main Street in Luray, it's much about giving back to the community by taking care of the young folks. We all, in this group, we've all had this opportunity, whether it's Dr. Young or myself or whoever, we've all had this opportunity that somebody gave us, and it meant a lot to us. And that is a lot. There can't be a better place to invest some of your success than in the youth of your own community. Concluding, I cannot echo enough what Dr. Hamilton said about Rebekah, or Becca as I like to call her. I've known her a tremendously long time, and I can tell you that she was the young person in the church Christmas play that knew her lines before anybody else, and she might have only been 7 years old. Okay. The incredible things that she did, I'll be perfectly frank, and I don't want to stay too long and bore everyone, but I don't know if our PPP loan applications, our performance evaluations, our Christmas marketing program, or so many other things like getting registered as a professional corporation in other states, I don't know if I'd have gotten those things accomplished in this COVID period without Rebekah Moyer helping me and working with me day in and day out. And lastly, not just the Showker Institute, I said this when we came on today, I am so incredibly impressed with everyone I have met in the what I call business program and the continuing education and the outreach programs at Bridgewater College. We really do hope at Racy Engineering that we can stay engaged and work as partners, beneficial partners to Bridgewater College in the future. So thank you very much. And now I'm going to let the star of the show from Racy Engineering have her go at it.
Thank you so much, Pat. And you said such wonderful things about, or given Becca such a great opportunity.
Sherry, you're muted.
Oh, I'm muted?
I've got her.
Okay, can you hear it? Because my, okay. Yeah, so I just wanted to say how wonderful it is to have such a structured program that allowed for so much interaction. And these are things that are just going to look amazing on the resume, and such great demonstration of what she took from the classroom and put it into practice. So Becca, I am going to turn it over to you now.
All right, hello everyone. Again, my name is Rebekah Moyer. My internship was at Racy Engineering. A little bit about me. I am a senior here at Bridgewater College. I am a business major and I have a minor in leadership. I would like to go to Bridgewater College's Masters of Science in Human Resource Management. As soon as I graduate next year, I plan on starting this program June 1st, actually. So far at Bridgewater, I have had 3 internships, 1 at Dagesh America and 2 here at Racy Engineering. A little bit about my site supervisor, who you've already met. That's Pat Racy. He is the owner of Racy Engineering. He went to Clemson University down in South Carolina, and he earned his degree in civil engineering. He has sponsored many interns in his company throughout the years, but as he said, I am the first business intern. A little bit about Racy Engineering. We are located in Luray, Virginia. We are a small business that actually started in Pat's basement in 2002, along with his wife, Chris Racy. We offer a wide variety of engineering services, such as civil, structural, mechanical, construction, and we even offer land surveying services. We have about 27 members in the Racy team. Today, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about my internship, which included motivating employees, substance abuse in the workplace, becoming a well-rounded leader, and establishing myself as a leader within the real world. When it comes to motivating employees, there are many motivators that I learned: money, food, benefits. There's other motivators as well. We have to guide people to do their best for themselves as well as the company. An example of this I found in my internship was the company picnics and the annual evaluation raises. Everybody always looked forward to the company picnic so that they could have a good time with their coworkers. When it came time for annual evaluation raises, everybody wanted their raises, so they would always try to do their best. In human resources, which is the field that I want to go into, I will always have to motivate others. Substance abuse in the workplace. Unfortunately, we did have an occurrence during my internship that we had to handle. We could have just fired this employee, got rid of them, but at Racy Engineering, we did a little bit different. We handled the situation by subtly mentioning the issue first, trying to get them to understand that, hey, you do have a problem. Then once that was not working, we decided to have a written letter, and we decided to do a meeting with the individual so that we could get the point across to them and get them help as well. Through this, I learned that leaders are kind and they give second chances, and often more times than second chances. They always help each other's improve, and leadership is about unity. You try not to leave others behind, but you always try to help them up. In human resources, this is going to be a big part of my job. I will have to be the go-to person for these type of issues, and will have to advise managers or other leaders within the company on how to handle this. Becoming a well-rounded leader, I found from Pat that there are multiple forms of leadership, and I've seen all of these leadership styles in Pat and within the company. The first one is participative leadership. This is giving a voice to the employees. One example of this I seen was in the benefits meetings with our admin team. He let the admin team voice what we wanted to have in our benefits. It wasn't just about him, it was about letting the employees have their opinions. The autocratic leadership style, this is giving specific goals and directions. This really worked well with our new hires. You have to give them specific goals and specific directions so that they know how to do their job well before they get comfortable. The laissez-faire leadership style, this is a very flexible style. Pretty much as long as you get your work done, we're going to set you free. This works well with our senior managers, specifically Tyler Austin, who is our operations manager. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to handle his workload. So we just kind of let him run with what he needs to do. The next one is transformational leadership. This is motivation and guidance. As Pat talked on earlier, this is great with interns. We really want to make sure that they're heading in the right direction, and we want to make sure that they're motivated to go to the next step. The last one is the servant leadership. This is making decisions with others in mind. This means that you don't just make decisions based on yourself and your own company, but you also think of others before making those decisions. Another example would be the benefits meetings. Again, he wasn't just thinking of how much is it going to cost my company, but how much is it going to cost my employees and what are they getting out of it. I learned to make my own decisions through this internship. When I first started here, I was very much, I wanted approval of everything, but I have become a more make decisions on your own type of leader. One thing I like to say is make executive decisions and just roll with it. Another thing that I learned is nothing is cut and dry. Everyone must adapt. Nothing's ever going to be the same. So you always have to be prepared for what's coming next. As far as establishing myself as a leader within the real world, this is just kind of a conclusion of what I've said before. You have to motivate others. You have to unify your team. Don't leave others behind. You do have to be considerate of others and give second chances or multiple chances. Different situations call for the different leadership styles that I just discussed, and you always have to adapt and overcome because, like I said, nothing is ever cut and dry, nothing's ever the same. Going into the professional world, I will need to know how to be a leader in the real world and not just in the academic world. Before this internship, all of my leadership roles have been in the academic world, so I'm very lucky that I had leadership experience in the real world. As far as the Bridgewater internship, I learned a lot through Pat and through the school. I learned real world experiences that, as many have said before, you can't learn in a textbook. You can't learn them in the classroom. You have to, during these internships, you are able to create these lasting relationships and connections. I have everybody in this company have become like family to me. And then career guidance and testing your desired career. The internships are a great way to do this. I definitely found out that I'm in love with HR. I want to continue on that route. Like I said, I have been accepted into the Master's of Science in Human Resource Management at Bridgewater, and this internship has just confirmed even more that career path.
Hey, Becca.
Becca. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like you might be finishing up because I apologize. Our time situation. I want to make sure that Eva Cole gets to speak because she has a 1 o'clock appointment. So is it okay if we go to Eva and then come back?
Yeah, this is just my last slide. So.
Oh, okay, great.
So I would just like to say thank you to Jane D. Showker and everyone who has chosen me for this internship award. I'm very honored, and I thank you all for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. And I know you did a great job, Becca, and everybody is so excited about your contributions and what you gained, and they gained an employee. So that's fantastic. I'm going to adjust a little bit because, like I mentioned, Eva Cole needs to leave for a 1. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Annabell after we hear from Eva. So Eva is was Annabell's site supervisor for the START program.
Yes. Thank you so much again, Sherry, for having me here today. And thank you, everyone. I apologize that I do have to run off for another meeting at 1. I wish I could stay longer, but I'm so thrilled to be here to be able to talk about Annabell. She was truly a spectacular intern and a really valued member of our team. So the project that she was on was with our center, the National Consortium for the Study of Terrorism and Responses to Terrorism. So START is our acronym because that is a bit of a mouthful. And we are a DHS Center of Excellence that conducts research on the behavioral and human causes of terrorism in order to inform policymakers. And our internship program is a way of preparing the future generation of policymakers. So in line with a lot of what I've been hearing from everybody who's spoken today, our program is really dedicated to making sure that our interns come out of the experience with transferable research skills and writing skills and literature review skills that they can take with them and use to launch them into the next step in their careers. And so each semester we have anywhere between, these days it's been a little bit smaller. We're in the ballpark of between 30 and 40, but we've been as high as 75 in the past. But on my project, I had 3 interns, and Annabell was one of them this past fall, working on a project that we partner with the US Department of State with their Counterterrorism Bureau. And so it's a really exciting opportunity. And I will say that that particular project is one of our most popular and most competitive ones. So that already speaks volumes about Annabell's work ethic and her just her nature as a stellar student and contributor to this area. So she was selected to participate in that project, and she and her teammates were working on creating a training simulation in line with what our clients at the State Department were looking for. So she was doing a lot of writing, and I'm sure at the beginning of the semester when I told her and her other 2 teammates that they'd need to produce around 200 written documents, they surely thought I was insane, but you know what? They did it. They created 200 different documents, and they were really great. And Annabell in particular was just, she was so great at showing up during our team meetings. You know, the team, even though we were experiencing a pandemic, they got together virtually every week, and we met with the whole group once a week, but they met on their own independently to kind of touch base and make sure that they were all on the same page and maintaining the quality for all of their documents. And Annabell was great at, you know, getting people thinking about some important questions and considerations of things that might need tweaking or changing, or and she never hesitated to go the extra step and take on an additional document that needed work, or a particular event that needed more coverage. So she was a very valuable member, and it was a real thrill to have her. And I'm so glad she's being honored today because she very much deserves it.
Thank you so much, Eva. What an exciting internship, and what a wonderful outlet for creative thinking and collaborative thinking. And so now let's hear from Annabell.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the kind words, Eva. My time with START was so amazing, which is why I applied for another internship for during the summer. But I'm a senior as well. I'm a history, poli-sci, and global studies double major with a minor in leadership and a concentration in pre-law. So I love learning about leadership and the aspects of what leadership is and the consequences of what bad leadership can do and what a good leader should look like. So with that, I'm always looking to improve my leadership skills outside of the world of academia and my other collegiate activities. So during my internship with START, that was a perfect opportunity. Not only was I able to exhibit the Bridgewater's mission of having that collaborative spirit, using my resilience and my reason, I was also able to help engage with the global community and work to bring peace and security. throughout the duration of my leadership of my internship, I was exposed to what a good leader should look like through Eva. She pushed me to grow my own leadership skills through just her just being a good leader. She was able to give excellent feedback, whether that be through constructive criticism or whether that be through praise. As a leader, it is somewhat difficult to give criticism to those who you are leading, and Eva just did it so effortlessly that it gave me a new way of thinking about giving criticism and feedback to those I am leading. Outside of that, Eva also demonstrated like the idea of moving away from specific leadership styles. When studying leadership, there's always that, are you a servant leader? Are you a laissez-faire leader? There's always that type of thinking when you're reading about leadership. But as the study of leadership is continuing, we're moving away from that and then just showing that leadership is different for everyone, and there's certain aspects of all styles of leadership that goes into being a good leader. So she was able to show me that and make me think about what leadership is nowadays rather than what it used to be. So that was really good, as well as she also showed me what a good communicator should be during COVID times, because sometimes you really get Zoom fatigue or you get email fatigue just reading and always being on your computer. So she was able to be there for us without being overbearing and without being too aloof, which was really amazing. And then as well, outside of Eva, there was also our partners with the State Department, and those at State were also super willing to like help us, which was a great leadership quality that I picked up. And just, I found that just a good leader is someone who is always there and willing to help grow the people that they are leading. As I go on and after Bridgewater, starting May 1st and into my master's program, which will be at Loughborough University in London, I will take that with me. I will try to encourage as many people as I can and work to help others, because I've always been passionate about helping others to the best of my ability. And I've tried to do that here at Bridgewater through my other internships and just do what I can to be a good leader. Overall, my relationship with Eva helped develop my leadership skills as well. She was always there for me, including to help me build my resume for graduate school. And now I have made it into graduate school. It was amazing. I am grateful that I finally had a supervisor that showed me what a good leader should be in like the workforce. Cause like previously my supervisors have not been that great. So having someone that was an actual leader and not just a manager was really important to me. Yes. And then one last thing, I was also able to practice my leadership skills through working with my team, whether that be working on the various documents that we had to complete or working towards just problem solving, because sometimes you can get stuck and you don't want to create the same documents over and over again, and just being able to express my creativity and work through problems together was nice to practice. Overall, my time at START helped me to practice and further develop my leadership skills that I'll be able to use in my future career. It helped me to see responsible leadership in action through my supervisor, and it showed me how my liberal arts education is applicable outside of Bridgewater. And that is it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Annabelle. That was wonderful. And Eva, we were able to get it in. Yay! So thank you so much for all of you for being here today. And Annabelle's, I didn't get to do the introduction. And I think between the two of them, you got an idea of what she did. But just this was a remote internship with the National Consortium for the Study of Terrorism and Response to Terrorism, which is the acronym START. And that's an organization that is supported by the United States Department of Homeland Security. And it focuses on scientific study of the causes and consequences of terrorism in the US and the world around. And Annabelle specifically focused on Kazakhstan. And it was just an amazing kind of a think tank experience. So a very exciting, very different internship from what I've actually seen before. Congratulations to all of our winners, and especially for doing such a wonderful job in your internship and representing Bridgewater so well. We really appreciate it. You got some cold hard cash coming your way, and we'll get that out to you shortly. And for our site supervisors, our beautiful trophy will be in the mail very shortly. And thank you all again. I appreciate your time here. Thank you to our guests who are here. We had a great audience. And if you want to know more about getting into an internship or more about the Showker Internship for Leadership, I always mess that up, Leadership and Excellence Award, then please talk to me. I'll tell you all about it. And everybody have a happy day and a wonderful weekend. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.